Hello, friends. Welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Today, we have 4 great stories for you. Let's start with a short one. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Okay, I will leave today. Yesterday, I received a job offer for a company I've been applying to for over a year. It's a $3 raise with opportunity to make $30 an hour after some time. Well, they're on a crunch for time, so I was only able to give 1 week notice to my current employer. I already have a vacation day off during that week, so altogether 3 days off of a 2-week notice. Received an email from my current boss letting me know that if I don't reconsider and change it to the 2 weeks, I will not be hireable back at that company, as well as not be given a good recommendation. So I emailed back, "Okay, I'll leave now." I go to collect my things and give all my wonderful coworkers hugs and well wishes. They all agreed with me leaving. So I now have a week free to hang out with my dogs and my boyfriend before I start a new job. Don't threaten me. Now the 1-week notice turned into a 1-day notice. Employers not understanding that at-will employment goes both ways is my favorite kind of petty. I hope the new job is everything you want it to be. And our second story. Please don't park in my driveway. I live next door to an apartment building, and where their parking lot ends and my driveway starts, there are concrete slabs to show where one ends and the other starts. I even have a sign at the end of the driveway saying private parking, not apartment parking. There's lots of room for all tenants and their visitors, so they don't need to park on my property at all. I called the apartment building landlord and complained a few times because of people parking in my yard. He said that he has signs all around the building where people can park, visitor parking and tenant parking, which he does. He said if they park on my property to call the tow company. I woke up one morning to go to work and couldn't get out because some jack mule had parked in my driveway. I called a towing company from a totally different city about 3 hours away. I couldn't wait for them because of work, but asked if they would call when they were hooked up and I'll come home to make sure it's done. I only live 5 minutes from work and my boss allowed me to go take care of this. When I got home, the car was already loaded onto a flatbed and was just pulling out when the owner of the car came running out, hollering for the truck to stop. He didn't. Then the guy looked at me and was very hostile and said, "This is all your fault. You'll be paying to get my car back." I just laughed at him and pointed at my sign saying, "No parking or vehicle will be towed at owner's expense." I had already called the police as well to see if I could do it legally, and they told me since I have had signage up for over a year that nothing can be done against me. I told the guy where he can get his car back and was PO'd to say the least. I backed out and went back to work. After work, the landlord came to see me. He said the guy tried to complain to him and told him it'll either be one or both of us, but someone will be paying to get his car back. He was told the tow charge alone was $800 because of the distance and a $150 a day storage until it's picked up. I know he got his car back because I saw it parked in the visitor parking a couple days later. It's funny how after this happened, I've not had another person park in my driveway again. I still get the stink eye every time that guy sees me. I smile and wave each time, because I'm an a-hole like that. The only right thing to do to an a-hole is be a bigger a-hole and let him pick a side. Don't cause trouble or get it double. And our next story. That table is free. I can see it. It's empty. About a year back, I worked in a family restaurant. It was a Saturday night, and we were pretty busy with all tables reserved, but it was all under control. I was hosting, and we had a family of 8 due in for a birthday. As I was making my way back to my station, a group of 8 people walked in. For the purpose of this story, the big idiot will be referred to as BI, and I shall be me. The exchange went as follows. BI, table for 8. Me, no problem, sir. Do you have a reservation? BI, no, I don't think so. Me, okay, well, I'm very sorry, but we are fully booked for tonight, but I can take a reservation for another night if you wish. BI, no, if I wanted to eat here another night, I would have come here another night. My back got right up. Me, I understand, sir. I do apologize. I'm afraid all of our tables are reserved for tonight, but you're more than welcome to take a seat at the bar if you'd like, while you choose if you'd like to go somewhere else. BI, what about that table over there? Pointing to the birthday table. That's got 8 seats. We'll just sit there. Me, Sorry, that table is reserved for another family. They're due here any minute. If you wait at the bar, we have a 30-minute policy, so if the family doesn't turn up, you can take their table. BI. Well, none of these empty tables have reserved signs on them, so how are we meant to know? Can you not push those two together? Pointing to two tables that weren't even in the same area. Big Idiot then spots my manager walking past and grabs her arm to speak to her, which also went down about as well as a fart in a lift. BI. Excuse me, there's a table over there that we'd like to sit at, but this girl here won't let us sit there. We traveled half an hour to get here, and I'm not happy. They don't have signs on them to say they're reserved, so I don't understand. My manager, without missing a single beat, says, I'm sorry about that, sir. Please wait a second while I sort this out. It won't be long. Big Idiot is looking pretty pleased with himself at this point, puffs out his chest and gives me the smuggest look he's probably given anyone, until he spots my manager walking out with the little reserve signs in her hand. Our restaurant used to be self-seating. She walks over to my station, checks the diary, and walks over to each empty table and places a sign on each one and walks back over to the station. Manager. I'm sorry our system confused you, sir. I've now rectified it. I see that we have a free table tomorrow evening at the same time if you'd like to come back then. Big Idiot turned the most putrid shade of puce you've ever seen in your life and stated that he will sit at the bar and wait to see if the table cancels. And as they're walking, the birthday table of 8 walks in. Big Idiot huffs and beckons his family to leave, at which point my manager calls over, if you'd like that table for tomorrow, please give us a call. Have a nice evening. Oh, sweet karma. And our last story. You want me to pay for your personal expenses? No thanks. In fact, you'll be paying for it. So to begin, this story didn't happen to me, but I was a huge point of contention between the two parties, my mother and father. So about 3 years ago, my parents got divorced. When they got divorced, however, my mother did not remove my father's name from her car's title, so whenever she got into any sort of accident or needed repairs, she's not a very good driver, my mother would always send half or more of the bills to my father, who would just tear them up until he would just pay them. Now, after about 3 years of this, my father had had enough. She texted him a few days ago saying she needed new tires for her car, which in her mind, he was going to pay for. Now, my father's a very patient and kind man. He's paid for every fee for my brother and I for the past 3 years without my mother's help and rarely complained or asked for money from her. However, she would always ask for money from him, and he would yield most times. He texted her saying he wouldn't pay for her personal expenses. She replied, sending pictures of medical bills for myself and my brother from the past year, as well as a bill for a vacation that she took, saying he needed to pay for those too, which he already paid his half of the medical bills and had nothing to do with her vacation. He texted her saying he wouldn't pay once again. She was furious over this. She began to go off saying how he couldn't provide better for me, that she would claim me on her taxes this year. She wasn't supposed to, that would be violating their custody agreement, and how he was terrible and selfish for keeping both her children to himself. I moved out of my mother's place 3 weeks after they divorced. She was a slob and allowed grown men who I, a 14-year-old girl at the time, did not know into her home, and my brother didn't even want to live with her to begin with, so he didn't. She also stated that if he wanted his name off the title, he would have to give her money for it. Now keep in mind, when they divorced, my dad paid to have her name removed off his car's title by himself. Anyways, while she went off about how selfish and horrible he was, she let it slip that she has a down payment ready for a new car. A down payment which was more than the cost of him purchasing new tires for her current car. She even threatened to put his name on the title for her new car. Here's where the revenge comes in. My father called the state, asked for a copy of that car's title to be mailed to him. Once he received it a few days later, it was go time. He called a towing business and had paid to get the car towed to his business lot, which was about a 30-minute drive from where we lived, an even longer walk from where my mother lived. She had no other form of transport. Then he received several furious voicemails from my mother, who he now blocked, about how he stole her car and that she was calling the police on him for theft. Now, about 2 hours later at my dad's business, a police patrol car shows up, asking him about the car in his lot, saying he ran the plates and it was reported as stolen. My dad then denied this, showing the officer the car title with his name on it in addition to hers. The officer then apologized for bothering him. He was working at the time and left him alone. It's been about a day and a half. My mother is yet to get her car back and has had to call into work because she can't get there. And my dad is speaking with his divorce lawyer about legal action to have her remove his name from the title and get a restraining order from my crazy mother for both himself as well as my brother and I. Life is good. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.